Good morning, dear friends. Hope you're all doing well. Here is today's Daily Mitzvah, day number 43 for Wednesday. A new mitzvah continuing the theme of Shabbos. Today we have the mitzvah that it's prohibited for a Jew to travel outside of the city limits on Shabbos. This is not a mitzvah that's connected with the forbidden types of work, the 39 categories of forbidden labor. This is an idea that every Jew, wherever you are for Shabbos, you got to stay in that city for Shabbos. You're not allowed to leave the city limits. As the verse in the Torah says, Al Yetze Ish Mimkoime B'Yom Hashvi. No man shall leave his place on the seventh day. Now, as you can imagine, this mitzvah is pretty vague. You're not allowed to leave your place. You're not allowed to leave the city. So what does that mean? Even if you just look at the verse itself on a simple level, don't leave your place. Does that mean you're not allowed to leave the room? You're not allowed to leave your house? You're not allowed to leave your block, the city, the state, the neighborhood? What does it mean you're not allowed to leave your place? And this is where we have a mitzvah in the Torah. It's very clearly a mitzvah. It's a prohibition, but we have no clue how to keep this mitzvah just from scripture, from the written Torah. So here we need the help of the oral tradition, which is not recorded in scripture. It's recorded in the Mishnah and the Talmud, etc. So our sages explain that whenever there's a city, every single city has the city limits. Beyond the city limits, you have up to 2,000 amma. Amma is a Jewish measurement, which is about 1.5 feet. So you have about 3,000 feet outside of the city limits that you are allowed to walk. But past 2,000 amma, which is approximately 3,000 feet, you are not allowed to leave on Shabbos if you're going to walk. Within the city itself, you can walk as much as you want. You can walk 50,000 amma, no problem. But once you leave the city limits, that's that. Now, just to give you a little bit more of an explanation over here, we living in a metro community, there's no real clear city limit between, walking between Birmingham and Bloomfield Hills, Bloomfield Township. And if you're going to walk from Bloomfield Township to West Bloomfield Township, there's no, besides a sign, there's no clear visual indications. We're not talking about that. We're talking about, if you go to northern Michigan, cities very clearly end, and then you just have woods. And then a few miles later, all of a sudden, a new city begins, and there's a clearing within the woods, and a new city begins. So that is really the way cities are generally made, besides in metro areas. Generally speaking, cities are spread apart, and it's very visually clear that civilization is ending here for another few miles, and then civilization will pick back up in another city a little bit later. And that's where the rule of Tchum Shabbos, of you're not allowed to leave the city limits, is really goes into effect. When it's clearly the end of civilization. You have 2,000 amma to go, and 3,000 feet. And that is the Daily Mitzvah for today. We'll see you all soon for our next Daily Mitzvah. Have a wonderful day.